his grandfather and father died within the same year. Mm-hmm. And he inherited over 65,000 acres of land in Virginia's northern neck, enslaved people, and 16 working plantations producing tobacco, wheat, and corn. 4 years old. This was managed and honestly and well by his uncles till he reached the age of 21. Now, due to the enormity of this inheritance, he clearly had wealth, had great achievements. He was a member of the Governor's Council of Virginia and born into Virginia's gentry class, the upper class, a privileged gentleman indeed. However, Robert Carter III experienced triumphs and deep inner struggles throughout his entire life. Politically, he associated with very learned, esteemed gentlemen like Lieutenant Governor Fauquier, George Wythe, Thomas Jefferson. But he began to debate his responses to their views concerning the colony's relationship with royal and parliamentary authority. He intensely explored moral integrity through readings in classical literature and began to reckon with his own. As a father, he provided his children with privileged instruction in music and dance, and then abruptly took it away. As an enslaver, he began to question the institution of slavery and ultimately agonized over it. Perhaps Robert Carter III's greatest struggle became his greatest triumph. In 1791, he wrote what became known as the Deed of Gift, which gradually emancipated over 500 enslaved people, his entire workforce. Now consider the date, 1791. This is 7 decades before Lincoln's proclamation. A fact I didn't know, and most people don't. We were very happy to be telling the story of this gentleman. Now, as you can see, the house is not furnished, and that gives us a chance to observe the architectural features of the original structure. It's possible that there's going to be another restoration in the future using modern technology. You're looking at the technology of 1931. When John D. Rockefeller Jr. gets his millions to restore Colonial Williamsburg. Now, the holes in the wall. I'm going to get my flashlight. I'm going to shine my light in here. As you might be coming up to take a peek, please don't touch the surfaces. Most of them are sharp, just for your safety. Now, here you are looking at the original brickwork of the chimney stack. Those bricks laid in 1727. This large, thick piece of wood is pit sawn oak timber. Do any of you know what pit sawing means? It is demonstrated in the carpenter's yard. You see, pit sawing requires 2 people, one above and one below a horizontal beam of wood. The one below is down in a dugout pit. And together, with one saw, one up, one down, they cut the beam into place. Whenever I talk about this and look at the floorboards and all the woodwork in this colonial city, I remind myself that every one of these floorboards began as a tree. And the labor, the time, the mastery to do this. It's sort of humbling. Now, right next to this oak timber, you're looking at modern 1931 plaster. And this is the metal glass behind it that was all used during the Restoration. Our architectural historians love to hold an object up and say, see something unusual about this? Oh, it's a brick. We have one brick in the chimney stack that has evidence of fingerprints, actually finger marks. And I'm going to shine the light on it just for you to take a peek. It's this one brick. It's some in these. You're welcome to come up if you want to peek a little closer. There are two major little indentations right there. You see what I'm zeroing in on?
Oh, yeah. I see it.
That
wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Did you see that? They were likely made by an enslaved person, as it was their task to take the wet bricks to dry in sand beds. Finding evidence of an actual person, although unidentified, gives a human connection to an inanimate object. I love the fact that we show things, we don't see anything different about them until, our experts point things out, which give a brick, it gives that brick a story. Now, Robert Carter III was known as a man of expensive tastes and worldly ambitions. We're fortunate to own some of his letters, which are housed in the John D. Rockefeller Jr. Library. And this image highlights some of the luxury items that he was importing from London to be in this grand house. And he was importing as well as wallpaper, furniture, curtains, mirrors, carpets, books for this grand home. And we surmise guests would admire the original staircase and the southern yellow pine dowel floors. Now, when these were laid, they were doweled together. They aren't nailed or joined together. I'm going to shine the light on these little wooden pegs. See those little square pegs? Those are holding the boards together. There's an image of, you see that? Can you tell what that is? There's an image, if you step away from that a little bit so people can see, that's an image of the dowels that show years of wear. That picture was taken right where you're standing. It's okay. We wanted to leave them open so people could see, and our historian said, you can't have any more wear. I said, leave it. Somebody tried to get in. It's locked. I said, if you're going to not let us show them, then they just had that up as a drag. I said, leave the picture there so they could get a good view. But it's very much a status symbol of this gentry gentleman. Now, notice the bottom step on the staircase, that riser. How is that different than the others? Much shorter. And that is evidence that this doweled pine floor was laid on top of the original floor. This is about 50 years later. Now, perhaps most of you have walked on in an old house with old floorboards, and what do you hear? Creak. You're never going to hear a sound on this. There's a floor under there, the original. There are sleeper supports going perpendicular. I'm going to show you another image. And then this. I'm constantly reminded as I look at certain parts of the house that this is an era when things were built to last. And quite humbling at times. Now, a social evening here would have included conversation with refreshments, perhaps